Okay, back again with scene 4 of Death and the King's Horseman. Scene 4 takes place concurrently with scene 3. In other words, while Ellison is trying to go through the ritual of suicide, the wedding and the suicide, Simon and Jane are at the masquerade ball at the Residency with the prince and all these other people of high esteem that came on some boats from Britain. They're wearing the Gungun masks, and everybody loves them. Everybody thinks that they're so neat, and Jane is really into like showing them how she's added these little push button things that make the mask go up and down, and makes the sleeves go up and down or whatever. But they've totally appropriated the Gungun culture just so they could win a ball. And even Olunde in this scene is like, and that is the reason for which you desecrate an ancestral mask. Olunde pretty much goes off on Jane in this. I mean, he had to get away from Nigeria to actually see the things about his culture that he loves and misses. And that's pretty much what this whole scene is about. It's about Jane and Olunde going back and forth about cultural appropriation, the role of like the ship's captain and how he had to blow himself up with the ship, because if he didn't blow himself up with the ship, then hundreds would have died. And Jane says that's horrible, and Olunde says, I kind of think that's inspiring because I find it an affirmative commentary on life, that he'd be willing to sacrifice himself for the betterment of his society. Obviously, that's some foreshadowing because we see Olunde do this. We don't see him do this. It happens in the background. But Olunde does sacrifice himself for his culture. Let's see. There's a lot of things to say about the characters. Jane's character, she's shocked. She's disappointed that Olunde doesn't accept the desecration of her mask, and she's disappointed in that. And Olunde says, I'm not shocked. Like, this is how y'all white people act. This is how your culture acts. He says, but I kind of understand it, because your greatest art is the greatest art is the art of survival. Like, he finds it kind of another affirmative commentary on life. In fact, that he thinks that because of all the wars the white races have been in, that they should have killed each other off, but they don't. They survive. And I think that he likes that. He wants his people to survive, and so he does it. He commits the ritual suicide so his people can survive. He does make a good point in that, you know, if you're surviving, let other people survive in their own way too. Olunde talks about how things could be disastrous if Ellison were to be stopped from the ritual suicide. For example, if Simon stops the suicide. And Jane can't understand that. She thinks that it's a good thing that his dad is being stopped from suicide. He says, no, this is not a good thing at all, because it would be a terrible calamity if Simon had succeeded. So there's another reference to, there's so many references, text evidence about the collapse of the Yoruban culture. Jane admits to not understanding things about their culture. It seems like she would like to, but she doesn't have time in tragedy. Pilkings seems to be only concerned about Ellison's death because the king is there. So that would be more like hiding behind the mask of control. Like he needs the prince to see that he has everything under control. At the end of scene 4, we have the reuniting of Ellison and Olunde, and Olunde cannot look at him. He's so upset with his father, and he calls his father the eater of leftovers. Basically, you were supposed to be the one to eat the first piece of meat, but yet you left it, and now you have to eat the rest. Yeah, that was scene 4.